While exploring the deep sea, a driver suddenly came across a decades-old World War II tank. Beneath the clear blue water, this old steel machine lay on the white sand. Due to seawater and time, the tank had accumulated thick rust. Coral and sea plants had grown inside its gun barrel. Jack examined the tank carefully and cleaned its surface with light tools. As the rust and sea layer began to peel away, the tank's strong armor became visible. Small fish hidden inside the tank also emerged. After inspecting the entire tank, Jack called in a professional salvage team. The team began the task of pulling the tank out of the sea. First, high-pressure water was used to remove the mud, sand, and sea plants from the tank's track wheels and chassis. Then, the drivers attached strong steel cables to the tank's lifting points. The ship above slowly pulled the cables, and the tank began to rise above the seabed. Shortly after, the tank was safely placed on the ship's deck. It was then transported to the port via a barge, and from there, loaded onto a heavy trailer and taken to the repair shop. Now the actual restoration of this old WW2 tank began. First, the tank underwent a thorough deep cleaning. High-pressure water was used to remove dirt, shells, rust, and sea plants. Then, the wheels and tracks were disassembled. Rusted and jammed bolts were carefully removed. Sandblasting cleaned the accumulated old dirt and rust inside the tank. Corroded and punctured steel plates were then revealed in several places. The damaged plates were cut out and replaced with new steel plates, according to the tank's original design. The damaged parts of the chassis and turret were also repaired and reinforced with strong welding. After welding, the surfaces were sanded smooth and primed to prevent rust. The team then began work on the tank's engine. Decades of sea use had left the engine filled with silt and rust. Many parts had become stuck together. The engine was completely dismantled, and its crankshaft, pistons, valves, and other components were removed. The damaged parts were replaced, and the necessary new parts were fabricated. The engine was then reassembled according to the original factory design. The crankshaft, shaft, pistons, valves, and other components were fitted one by one. After the engine was repaired, the team began repairing the tank's wheels and tracks. The rusted surfaces were cleaned by sandblasting. Broken and damaged parts were repaired by welding. The bearings were cleaned and lubricated. The wheels and new tracks were then reinstalled on the tank. The tank's transmission, gearbox, drive system, and other mechanical components were also inspected. Outdated wiring was repaired, and the electrical system was reconditioned. The control panel, radio, and other essential components were also repaired. Once all the mechanical and electrical systems were ready, the tank was painted. Military green, dark yellow, and brown colors were used to give it a look reminiscent of the old World War II design. The old crosshairs and numbers were also restored. Finally, after several months of hard work, this rusty old tank was back on its feet. Its tracks began to rotate smoothly, and the engine started running. This old World War II steel tank, after being buried in the deep sea for decades, has now been restored to its former